Hello, I'm Nicholas,
And I'm Sharen.
and today we're going to tell about Gorbachev.
And the fall of Soviet Union.
The leader of the communist parties at that time, Brezhnev, has made a very big mistake in invading Afghan with its troops. The invasion was widely criticized and has lost the USSR many of its allies. The Afghan army became too strong for the Soviet Union to handle, so they need more and more troops to invade Afghan. There were about 125,000 Soviet troops in the country. While in the end they were too strong to conquer, they withdrew from the battle and caused 15,000 deaths to the Soviet soldiers, and the war cost the USSR about $8 billion a year. With corruption taking over the Soviet Union, the people want new reformation to tackle this problem. So, powerful people at that time, which was Andropov and Gorbachev, then lead the new communist era. However, a few months later, Andropov, which was the leader, died because of illness, and Gorbachev became in power. Gorbachev wants the economy to rise, so what he do is to eradicate all forms of corruption by giving them harsh punishments. To increase the economy, what Gorbachev done is to take a big portion of the money used on defense and use it to build its country. So what they do is to pull out from the Afghan war, negotiate arms race with the USA, and stop interfering the affairs of other communist countries. With that, more money is on their hands and they could repair its economy. Gorbachev is very successful in his foreign policy. However, it did not happen at their own home. By providing free speech, it simply created more problems. He also wanted a system to be centrally planned. However, it did not go as successful as he thought. So, the Soviet managers blocked the change. Gorbachev has also introduced new foreign policy, which was the end of the Brezhnev doctrine. By doing so, he cut a huge budget in its defense, and he made the Eastern Europe free, which means that there was no more tanks rolling in Budapest or Prague.
Gorbachev, who was born on March 2, 1931, is a Russian and the first Soviet Union president serving from 1990 until 1991. His efforts to democratize his own country's political system and decentralize its economy led to the downfall of the communism and the breakup of the Soviet Union in 1991. In 1985, he was elected to be the General Secretary of the Communist Party and was told to tackle some issues, including serious domestic problems and escalating the Cold War tensions. He worked diligently to create reforms that he believed would improve the Soviet standard of living by providing more freedom and democracy to the Soviets. As he was grappling with issues of different ethnic groups within the USSR, they had begun to wage war against one another. Along with the failing of the Soviet economy, Boris Yeltsin, a new rival leader, came. Yeltsin is a former Communist Party member. In the summer of 1991, he was voted to be the president of the Russian Republic. By the Christmas of 1991, the Soviet Union had crumbled and Gorbachev stepped down from his position, handing over complete power to Yeltsin.
Compatriots, due to the situation which has evolved as a result of the formation of the Commonwealth of Independent States, I hereby discontinue my activities at the post of President of the USSR.
Tonight, the Kremlin's red flag was lowered for the last time. People in this country, said Mr. Gorbachev, are ceasing to become citizens of a great power.